So this unit is on responses to the Industrial Revolution. Where people were living in cities, people were working with machines, and how there are different responses in terms of politics, the ways of government, in terms of the economy, in businesses, and trade, and money. And the first response in terms of the economic system, the one we talked about yesterday, was capitalism. It's the first major economic system we need to know about. And it's the easiest one for us to know about because it's the system we live in today, where there's different brands of stuff, where businesses are owned by private people, like you and me, not by the government. And where there's a free market and free trade, where I'm allowed to buy and sell to who I choose. Same with you guys. You all have a choice what clothing store you go to buy something. We talked about that problem in these early factories about how people were getting paid almost nothing. And because people were getting paid almost nothing, they had some responses to that. The two responses were forming unions and reform movements. And that's going to be our focus today. To get us started, so can someone tell me what a union is? Brittany, you say your dad's in a union? So what, your mom's in a union? What's that mean? Group of people who protest. One thing they do is protest at times. Something a union does once, not all the time. Kayla, what do you think? I'll meet you next.
I'll say like the people that
A group of people you're protected by for your job? Yeah, that's definitely close. Ruben, what were you going to ask that?
Just like you were working, like you were in the factory or something, and then your union help you, so like the Ford or whatever don't try to play you there, so you get like decent wages and stuff like that.
benefits.
Yep. So what a union is, it's a group of people who work for a company or an industry. So Ruben had a good example, like working at Ford. All the employees belong to the union, a group of people. As Kayla said, provides protection for your job. I'm not sure who said over there, provides benefits for you, your pay. I suppose negotiates from. So, a group of people at a job that you belong to that negotiates your rights. And in the early industrial revolution, no such thing as a union. You couldn't get your rights, so you couldn't get benefits, you couldn't get pay, your job wasn't protected.
So I got a quick question.
Yeah.
So Walmart not part of the union, right?
Pardon?
So Walmart, they're not in the union, right? No. So what do they do differently than like, is Myers in the union?
Meyer, I'm not sure if Myers.
But a lot of people don't like Walmart.
You know, I don't know that much about Walmart. They have different regulations, so that you can get around having a union. But I'll take a look into that for you, okay?
should say a Target and Costco, they have unions.
They have unions. Lots of companies have unions. The big union you hear around here the most often, living near Detroit, the auto workers. That's what you hear about a lot. All right. Now, my second question is, what is a reform movement? Someone decides your name. Does someone know what a reform movement is?
I got a question. So, because and these two questions right here, they were similar. So, was one of them the unions and the other one?
I'm not sure which question are you looking at? From the homework?
Yeah.
Which one are you looking at?
Well, this one and this one. Like, where are you at?
Through what process did the union achieve goals? That's the negotiation.
Okay, and what's the
That was the protest.
Oh, okay.
You got it. So yeah, to go back to unions for 1 second, when DeMarco says unions can protest if the workers don't like what they're doing. We'll get more into that in just a second with the PowerPoint. But what about a reform movement? What's the word reform mean? Change? Is it any? Do you say change, Adrian?
Yes.
Any type of change or a certain type?
Like a change in thinking.
A change in thinking. What else? A change in ways. Is it normally a good change or a bad change? Good change. A positive change. And when a movement is a group of people who have a goal of something, they're working towards something. So a reform movement, put it together.
Somebody pass back the work, the notes.
Did you not get a note sheet?
So, you need one too?
No, I was in.
So group of people working for a positive change. All right, so I think we have a good definition up there we got as a class of what a union is and what a reform movement is. These are the responses to people working in the factories. Eugene, up here, please. Working in those bad conditions that we talked about last unit. You remember we talked about the spinners, how they could get their hand caught in the machine, their hand would be taken off? So that was one pretty bad condition. And today we're going to look at some conditions that make that seem pretty tame by comparison.
You got some pictures?
Don't have pictures, but I have part of a book that we're going to read. So, we go back to the example of a factory hiring people, and I work for $10 and Ruben works for $1. You're going to hire Ruben because it costs them a lot less money. The factory makes a lot more money. Another thing the factory can do to make more money is make their products as cheaply as possible. One way to make the products as cheaply as possible is to not have safety regulations, not make it in the safest way. That would be the best for the people working there and the best for the people who buy the